On a more serious note, Trisha convinced Gabbie that she had no idea about the physical altercation that Gabbie went through with YouTuber ricegum, when she in fact did. Which she not only knew about but mocked Gabbie for, calling her a liar when she said that she was the victim of an assault.
And then the ricegum thing, which, I mean, I don't want to rehash it or restart drama, but what the fuck was that?
I don't remember any of that. I remember the thing, but I don't remember any of it. I was so.
It was just basically he made a video or two about me, and then in person on Snapchat, I was like, yo, let's rap battle right now. Yeah. And then he said no. And I was like, what, your ghostwriter's not here? Joking around because he had already said, I have a big nose. I steal joke. He made these videos, really inflammatory about me. So I thought it was fine. Jesus. And then he held me down, yanked my phone from my hand, and broke my phone.
Oh, Jesus.
If you watch the interviews, it starts with, I didn't fucking touch her, to of course I had to touch her to take her phone. And then it turned into, I mean, obviously it's her phone. She's not going to give it very easily. So I had to wrestle her a little bit to get it. But
what the fuck? I don't remember this at all.
Dude,
that's
was really
crazy.
It was really
that's fucked up. I don't know. I gotta maybe I won't research it. But that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I definitely had it all saved. People I also did file a police report about it because I mean he broke my phone and had marks on my body.
How come that wasn't big? Was it big? Maybe I was just so out of it.
A man, a 6 foot whatever the fuck man, just pinned me down and broke my fucking phone because I asked him to rap battle, and I'm the bad guy. It's crazy.
Because I had heard about it, and I just thought it was an online, because I mentioned it once, and I was like, oh, and the rap battle sucked. I didn't even know what it was. I had no idea what you did, but I didn't know it was that. That's fucking weird. I thought you guys were went back and forth with a rap or something online.
How could she tell Gabbie that she wasn't aware of the physical altercation when in all of these videos and tweets prior she's bringing it up? Claiming Gabbie lied about the assault.
Lie on yourself, do your own drama, say people scratched you over a phone, whatever the case is. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. All of Gabbie's dramas, her thing with ricegum, which was proven lies, and
which in itself is strange because when the assault initially happened, Trisha spoke about it straight after and publicly took Gabbie's side against ricegum, as you can see here. What all this proves is that she did in fact know about the physical assault and lied to Gabbie's face when she said she didn't.
I just texted Gabbie because in my video I filmed before dinner, I had said that, I didn't really know the situation. I'm just reading up on stuff, and I was texting Gabbie, and she's shaken up by it, and I don't blame her. And I know Gabbie, I know who she is as a person, and and the thing that kind of disgusts me the most, besides the whole abuse thing, allegedly, because ricegum is saying no, but I believe Gabbie 100%. But if you truly didn't do something that someone's claiming, something so serious, you wouldn't be mocking it like they did on Snapchat, and you wouldn't start making fun of someone's looks. This is a serious shit, and you're gonna call her big nose and shit. It's fucked up anyways. And I know, I was telling her, I mean, I've dealt with that too. You're being attacked for your physical appearance when that has nothing to do with anything. That's low blows. It's fucking disgusting. Neither one of them have room to talk, first of all, on appearances. It just pissed me off. It really made me angry that they escalated it to that. Okay, so you want to defend yourself. You don't fucking mock that shit. You don't fucking make fun of the person's appearance. What are you thinking, dude? That disgusted me more than a lot of the other things. Obviously the hitting, but before, it's just gross.
She has a history of not only questioning victims who come forward, but mocking and vilifying them for it as well. Even though she claimed on the Frenemies podcast that she has never doubted a single person who has ever come forward with any kind of accusation, and shamed those who did.
This is 2021. We stand by victims. We stand by people saying the truth.
And in another attempt to vilify Gabbie, Trisha told her on the podcast that she didn't want to talk about Shane because she didn't like when people piled on one person who was already receiving hate. That she didn't want to contribute to that gang up. But after leaving the podcast, she told the internet that it was Gabbie who refused to have that conversation and that Trisha was upset that she didn't get to share their mutual grievances about him. As if Gabbie prevented offering her validation by not publicly confirming that Shane was a bad guy.
People love to, it's kind of like this, like what you were saying, but on a bigger scale, people like, it's cool to hate Jeffree sometimes. So and that's what I didn't want this to be, is like people, because my issue was this last year, and I did not want people to like be like, fuck Shane, you know, he's also this and he's also that. Like, this was my own issue and it had nothing to do with their allegations.
Just want to hate Shane. They want to pile on, right? Oh, Shane did something else that we don't like love. He's not perfect. Like, let's pile on. And I didn't want that. I don't want to pile on.
Clearly done in another attempt to paint Gabbie as a villain with an agenda. Here are a couple of other instances in which she tried to do that very same thing to her. The accusation of being an R apologist. What's ironic about this claim is that Trisha herself is also an R-word apologist.
Like, this is kind of what I want to do. My next book, I am going to write another book. I kind of don't, because I have me on the cover of all my books. And I have an erotic fiction, but I would like to do one of just like a blank cover and just like completely disassociate with me, almost like writing under maybe even like a pseudonym. I would love to promote it though. That's the only thing. Like, I would love to promote it as like mine.
At erotic fiction, it was a book about a main character finding the R word to be erotic.
I'm gonna say all allegedly. I don't really know. Does anyone ever really know? When people go to jail, unless that person admits out of their mouth, like, people who even go to jail, like, sometimes didn't even do it, you know what I mean? But I guess they're false claims. That's so scary. It's like, anyone can just make up anything in this world. Like Drake, I told you that instance. This girl just like literally saying he like raped her and like crazy. Like, you could like, people will make up anything, and like because you're like somebody, like it becomes a story, and then whether it's true or not, people just associate you with that.
And on top of defending those multiple men who have been accused of the R word, here she is defending her own fiancé who was accused of SAing an ex-girlfriend of his. Weaponizing pregnancy. During Gabbie and Jesse's situation, Trisha inserted herself to remind Gabbie that Jessie was pregnant with her rainbow baby and that Gabbie was causing this pregnancy unneeded stress. But when Ethan Klein's mother Donna Klein brought up the same argument in defense of Hila Klein, who was pregnant and undergoing unnecessary stress because of Trisha, Trisha lashed out at Donna Klein for it. Even though she herself had done the same thing to Gabbie.
She finally gets pregnant. We were all thrilled. And then we find out that maybe you guys are having a multiple birth.
Yes.
You know, and when you have twins, possibly triplets, you have to be really careful. You know, I mean, I've lost a pregnancy.
Right. Well,
and so it can be
the first
really
3 months
heartbreaking.
is like dicey, and that
very dicey.
The further you get along, the less likely like miscarriages. But in the first 3 months, miscarriage can be extremely common.
It can be it can be very common, and when you're trying to get pregnant for a very long time, it can be
scary.
It can be heart-wrenching.
Yeah. It was
so Trisha just kept on going on and on and on with some of the things that she was saying.
On the last episode of Frenemies, which we also recorded as well, everyone was recording it, I brought that up. I said, why would your mom text the most vile, disgusting, I can't even speak it right now. I cannot speak it right now because she put blame and the weight of something so heavy on me that I have to wait this out now with it because of her. She's a vile scum. I cannot repeat. I can't even put out what she said. And when I asked Ethan, I'm like, your mom texted this? Like that's something that's like the nastiest thing I've ever heard from anybody. And he's like, well, I told her not to text that. It's disgusting. What she placed on me is evil.
Ethan and Trisha call out Gabbie for insisting that Trisha and her were friends, but the point that Gabbie tries to make isn't that they were close best friends, it was that they were in communication much more than Trisha lets on. The way Trisha spoke about Gabbie, it was as if she'd never privately spoken with her in her entire life and that there was no foundation of communication there ever. Which we've proven throughout this video is a lie. She does this in an attempt to distance herself from Gabbie to make it appear as though Gabbie's gripe with her is based off of delusion and has no bearing.
Also, just imagine being so obsessed with trying to prove someone's your friend. It's like, okay, they said you're not your friend. Like, chill. Oh my God.
Right.
But even within the first minute of Gabbie's podcast, Trisha agrees that they spoke on numerous occasions and had heart-to-hearts. proving not that they were best friends, but that they had more history than Trisha let on. Trisha wants us to believe that she had absolutely no kind of past with Gabbie and that their drama sprung from delusion, but as we've proven throughout this video, that isn't the case. They clearly knew each other more than Trisha let on, and there were clearly valid reasons, not delusions, for their beef.
I've wanted to talk to you, I feel like, for forever, just because, I mean, even before, like, all the drama and stuff, like, I would talk to you, like, I'd reach out to you all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
We would have some, like, cute heart-to-hearts or whatever.
Yeah.
Trisha spun this narrative as if Gabbie was simply a fan who was obsessed with a random creator that she had never had any sort of personal contact with, when they've clearly had a very long history with each other that Gabbie did not make up out of thin air. Gabbie even clarifies that here in the podcast, stating that she was confused by Trisha's claim that they had never spoken and never had contact with each other, when that clearly wasn't the case. It's obvious that it was never about Gabbie insisting they were best friends, simply that they had history and knew each other more than Trisha was telling people. Gabbie even states that she's aware that it was probably just kindness on Trisha's end to engage in multiple conversations with her, but her point is that those conversations happened. Whereas Trisha wants us to believe that they never existed.
I was just, I guess, confused by was like the idea that like we had never spoken and like I invited myself to your party, where like that was another feeling where like I went back and like looked at the messages to make sure I wasn't crazy. Like we talked a lot.
You don't know me, I don't know you. If someone I literally don't know.
But I think that's where our discrepancy is because like and like this could just be my naivety, is like the extent of our conversations and like the tweets you put out about me. Like I was like, oh, we're friends, or at least friendly, or at least like each other or whatever.
Right.
So like I always looked at you as like I didn't have a ton of like people in LA who, even if we weren't like friends, I didn't know who I like connected to. And like I felt like you were willing to share like emotions and trauma and shit like that, which is very rare. So I think that in my head, I was just a lot closer to you than we actually were. You know what I mean? Because like our conversations were like, maybe it was just you showing like human decency or like baseline kindness to me, like listening to me and sharing with me. I took that as like friendship. Where like to you it was probably just like, here's this girl on YouTube, I'm gonna be nice to her, I'm gonna respond to her, I'm gonna, like, whatever.
Trisha claims she never liked Gabbie.
Not coming out of place of malice. Like, I don't like the girl, never liked her. I think she's a horrible human being.
And wants us to believe that Gabbie is crazy for considering them friends or anything more than complete and absolute strangers.
I'm not saying this lightly, but like it really is scary, like the obsession, like the lies that she says to be like, we were friends. That was nice until the end. I had to be like, I don't know what to say, like this never happened.
But on top of everything else that we've already pointed out, Trisha once even listed Gabbie as one of her closest female friends that she loved texting. It's not hard to imagine why Gabbie was under the assumption that they actually had some kind of friendship now, is it?
Or describe your guys' female friendship. I love my girlfriends. I love talking to them. And Pauline, I'm probably missing out like so many people. Gabbie, I love texting with, like, because I need to make time for girlfriends. Like that I really want to hang out with and like, you know, spend the night with, eat food, drink, talk, you know, that kind of stuff with. And it's just, I don't know, like, and YouTubers too. I used to always write off, like, hanging out with YouTubers because I'm like, oh, well, I don't want it to be a superficial thing and, like, fake. But there are two YouTube gals.
Take a slight right turn onto Washington Boulevard.
There are two YouTube gals that I have met, and we've always talked about hanging out. And, like, I really am, like, gonna make the effort because, you know, we've texted each other and be like, when are you free and stuff, and, like, they're super busy and I'm super busy. But Gabbie from the Gabbie Show, who I literally talked and tweeted with for forever, like, so long.